Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading is going to be a career and finance reading for the sign of Gemini. Okay, so I've put out a spread already, and bottom of the deck we have the Seven of Pentacles. This is the card of waiting for things to improve, really. Could literally be waiting for an amount of money, because this person's waiting for a harvest in a way. But to me, it feels like you're waiting for an improvement. And underneath that, well, that explains it. Underneath that is the Ace of Pentacles. So you're waiting for a sum of money, I think. It feels to me like you're either owed a sum of money that you have not got yet, or you feel like you should be being paid more, or it's something like a bonus, a payout of some sort. Or if this is not work related, it could be an inheritance. You're waiting for some sort of large-ish sum of money. It sort of feels to me like you think your life would be better if you've got this sum of money. Let's take a clarifier for those two cards. What does that large sum of money relate to that Gemini is waiting for? What could it be from? Well, we've got a few cards here. Well, interesting. Three big cards, I would say. We've got the Devil, the Hermit, and the Eight of Pentacles. I'm going to start from this side. Eight of Pentacles is about working on your own. It can be working on your health, your wealth, your worth, but it's very much a quiet energy, putting in the effort, often behind the scenes. You know, you could be putting in a lot of effort at work and nobody's noticing. It's that sort of feeling. And combining that with the Virgo card, which is the card of, you know, quietly trying to work out what to do with the rest of your life, really. The Virgo, the Hermit, is a card of retreat, but it's not necessarily retreating from a situation. It's often retreating back into yourself to work out what's going on. So those two cards work very nicely together. It feels like you're being guided to put some work in to yourself, or work on your health, your wealth, or your worth, possibly more than your actual paid work. What came with that is the Devil, and you know, in a love reading I would say this is obsession, but in a career and finance reading I would say it's more like oppression. So it feels like you could be putting your all into your paid work and actually not being recognized for it, not being, if we go back to these cards over here, not being paid fairly for it, not being paid fairly, not being recognized, and not getting the remuneration that you should be. And that is coming from a feeling of oppression, like you're working in an environment that, and I mean, it might have been good in the past, but something's happened at work and it is not feeling like it's right for you anymore. Instead of putting all your efforts into working for a situation or a person or a company that you're feeling oppressed by, it would be better to shift some of that focus onto you. The Eight of Pentacles also really sort of is making me think that perhaps, in a way, maybe you're really wanting a sum of money so you can actually go and work on your own. It's sort of what it feels like, because these are very much on your own cards. This is working on your own. This is investing time into yourself, really. So that's sort of what it's feeling like. Like you could be working somewhere where the environment is oppressive, where you feel like you're not being paid properly or appreciated for the amount of work you're doing, and you feel like you're owed some money, or you're waiting for a large-ish sum of money. I notice I keep saying ish. This is a large sum of money, but yeah, it's not a life-changing sum of money, I wouldn't say, but it's big enough that it could change your life in a small way in the short term, I think. Anyway, at the centre of the reading, we have Five of Cups. This is feeling like you have got nothing left, like all the joy has gone from your life, but actually it's not from your life, because this is a career and finance reading, so you might not be feeling the joy at work anymore, that you've lost the love for work. And I'm not surprised. If you're working in what feels like an oppressive environment, you will have lost the will for work. What is crossing the Five of Cups is the Ten of Swords. yeah, I think you've had enough of it. Wherever you are that is making you feel oppressed, you're reaching the end. I think you might have reached the end. You haven't quite left though. It's really interesting. On the face of things, to everybody else, it looks like you're fine. To me, it doesn't feel like you're at all fine at work. But to everybody else, it looks like you're absolutely great and everything's wonderful. So you're keeping your problems very well hidden, I would say. That's interesting though. So why does it look like everything is good in the crowning position? Well, okay. So this is very hopeful. The Wheel of Fortune. Honestly, I've done so many readings recently and the Wheel of Fortune is so prominent in all of them. Things are moving into your favour. So perhaps to other people it looks like you're happy. To you it doesn't feel like that. But I think if you combine that with the Wheel of Fortune, that situation is going to change and you will start to feel a lot happier as the fortunate energy comes into you and, well, as your fortunes change for the better, I suppose. So the Wheel of Fortune could be bringing in this sum of money and that in turn will be making you happy. Yeah, it feels like that anyway. Wheel of Fortune, it is literally a wheel. It will keep rolling. And so if it doesn't deliver happiness straight away, or it doesn't deliver the large sum of money straight away, then don't worry. It will keep going until it does deliver what it is supposed to. And what it's supposed to deliver is a new start in a fortunate way. And that is what you've got coming in. And that will be obvious to everybody, including you, that things are shifting into a much happier, more productive and more financially stable way. Really good. That's good. What's hidden or not clear is that you are concerned about money. This is King of Pentacles. This is financially stable individual. So could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, masculine. He's the king who's good with money. So it could be that you're concerned that your money is not as good as it could be. It could be that you're dealing with somebody who's a bit obsessed with money. And maybe that's where the oppressive energy is coming from because the devil is Capricorn. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn and also the Hermit is Virgo. So both of these signs are represented here. So it could be that you're dealing with somebody who's making your life difficult and they could be an earth sign. What's coming with it is death and the Knight of Swords. Now, if you are dealing with somebody who's making your working life unpleasant, great news, that's going to change and it's changing very quickly. Other people can't see this and it could be that you've been struggling to explain to people how you feel or sort of reconcile it with yourself really. Maybe you've been saying to yourself, well, I'll just have to get on with it and he's like that with everyone, or it's not my fault, it's not, don't take it personally. It's that sort of feeling. But it's changing. Death is an inevitable change. It's also Scorpio. And the Knight of Swords is in a hurry. This is the fastest moving night energy. Might be looking for a fight. So it could be that you're gearing yourself up for some sort of battle at work. Perhaps to do with the oppressive energy that you're working under. Maybe, but not necessarily. It could just be that the change is going to come in swiftly for you. And I do think that's true because Death and the Wheel of Fortune are both cards of change and you've got them both right at the start of the reading. So a big change is underway, I would say. And that is because you've reached the end. I think you've recognised now that you can't stay in this situation and you need to do something about it. You haven't wanted to do anything about it. I think you're a bit low on energy, to be honest. But the Wheel of Fortune is going to help that change. In the past, we have the Two of Swords. This is a strange card to find in the past. You had a choice in the past. Well, I mean, we've all had millions of choices in the past. So what does that choice relate to? We definitely need more clarity there. It sort of feels to me like you might not have had a choice but to take the job that you're currently in or to do the work you're currently doing. Well, this is saying you chose love. And maybe that's what I mean. Perhaps if you're in a loving relationship, it didn't matter what sort of job you took and so you just chose chose any old job. Perhaps that wasn't your main focus, but now you recognise that actually you can't stay where you are. It could be that. Or actually, maybe you're working for somebody you love. Maybe it's a family business or something like that. It's another divinely presented gift from the universe. And it's causing a headache, yeah. Well, so in the past, I think you chose this situation, you thought it was going to be great. And it has caused a lot of anxiety for you, I think, because we've now got the 9 and 10 of Swords. What's really good is we've got progression here. So the 9 of Swords is in the past, the 10 is in the present. You're moving from what was a difficult situation that was causing you stress into a feeling like you're not doing it anymore and there needs to be a change. So that is good. That's progression is always good within the numbers of the tarot. So it could be that you've been working with somebody you love and you thought it was going to be okay and it really isn't. If that's the case, I'm sorry, because that is a difficult thing to deal with. I think you can deal with it though. You're just going to have to be very clear about how you feel and what's going on. And in a way, that is what these 2 cards are saying here. The aces are divinely presented. So these, you might not feel like you've got gifts at your disposal yet, but you are going to get them. The sum of money is on its way. It's going to come your way. And the love that was on offer in the past is probably still going to be there in the future. I think you're fearing that you don't know how to get out of a situation that you're in without upsetting other people. But I don't think that is going to change. I think the love is still going to be there, especially if you're working with friends or family. I think that is probably what's caused quite a lot of stress for you. Feels like that anyway. In the future, we have the Page of Swords. This is communication. So this is emails and texts and things like that. In terms of waiting for money, it could be that you're waiting to hear about a sum of money. And if that's the case, you will be hearing pretty soon. This all feels very close together. This doesn't feel like the distant future. It feels now-ish. Why do we have the Page of Swords in the future position? Well, we've got a lot of cards here, but I'll take the top 2. That's the 6 of Pentacles and the World. Right. You're waiting for communication, which is going to be to your benefit and is fair, reciprocal energy. Something to do with the world. Now, the world is also an ending, but it's also a beginning. So it could be that you're in some sort of financial dispute, actually, and that maybe you're waiting to hear about an equitable outcome, something that you've been waiting for. Yeah, you could have been at tribunal or something like that. And I think that's fine, because you're going to get what you're owed. That's for certain, because we've got so many endings and new beginnings here. This is our 3rd, 4th. We've got death, which is an inevitable change. We've got the 10 of Swords, which is feeling like you can't go on. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is new fortunate energy coming your way. We now have the World card, which is, it's a cycle. You've completed a cycle. So if you're in a difficult phase, in the near future, you will have completed that cycle. You will have moved from the feeling that you can't go on into a feeling like there is new hope for a different way of living. And it could even talk about a different part of the world. Yeah, good. That's nice. Really nice. This feels like you're in the midst of quite a big change to do with either your career or to do with your finances in a more general way. But this does feel quite work-based to me. In the personal position, we have the 10 of Wands. This is also a card of feeling like you can't go on. 10s are always endings, and we have the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands now. You can't go on at work or with the financial situation, and you can't go on in a personal way. You've reached the end. There is no more to do for this situation. You've reached the end. Yeah, interesting. I'm going to take the next card, but I might come back for a clarifier. In the home position, we have the 8 of Cups. This is retreating or leaving. So it could be that you're leaving home, and this does sort of tie in with the World card. It could be that actually you need to move to a different part of the world. Let's take a clarifier. I'm feeling inclined to want to read those 2 cards together. Let's have a clarifier for the 8 of Cups and the 10 of Wands in the personal sort of home area. Why do we have 10 of Wands, 8 of Cups? Got 2 here. Well, we have Temperance and the Hierophant. Well, this is all to do with what I was saying a minute ago. The balance is off. You've reached the end with something because you're no longer balanced. But in the future, you have the card of balance. And now this is talking about gaining balance back into an area of your life that has been unbalanced and has made you feel like you want to leave. The Hierophant, it could be that you're actually wanting to leave a marriage, or it could be that you've been working in a very, very traditional environment and it's the environment. Oh, well, now this could well be a thing. It could be the environment that has been oppressive rather than the people. Yes. And actually that would sort of tie in with why you're feeling a little bit like you can't go on, but you're feeling bad about it because perhaps you really like the people, you just can't cope with the traditional environment anymore, and that is why you're leaving. Potentially that's what that feels like. I'm doing that because those 4 cards feel like they belong together. So something fairly major is changing at work, but it's having an impact personally to you and to your home environment as well. This is a big area of change. It feels to me a little bit like, I wanted to say a massive big change, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like although you've got areas of change going on in your life, it doesn't really feel like this is a monumental, major explosion of change. It feels like there's bits of areas of life that need altering and they will be altered, and then you will be able to come back into balance. Yeah. In the hopes and fears position, you're hoping that your wishes are going to come true, and they are. We know they are because you've already got the Wheel of Fortune and the card of happiness. So your wishes are going to come true. In the outcome, we have the 3 of Pentacles. This is building. This is where this sort of leads right back to the start when I was saying that maybe you might need a sum of money in order to build work for yourself. It's that sort of feeling like you're wanting to branch out on your own or build something that is different from what you currently have. And it's been slow going, and the amount of money that you've been trying to gather together hasn't been enough. But that is improving because we've got the Knight of Pentacles here, and he is coming with money. He is slow, but he is coming, and this is a plan. You're making a plan for a better future, I think. And I took 2 other cards as well to clarify that, and these definitely are future cards. We've got another card of planning and another card of change. So everything is changing for you in the future. You could well be moving to a different part of the world because these 2 cards are both talking about other parts of the world. You could have had a big wake-up call, and I think it sort of frightened you in a way. I think you've realised that it's either the nature of the work that you do or it's the environment that you work in does not suit you anymore, and it is making you feel oppressed. It could be that the people are nice, but you can't stay in this environment anymore, and you know that. You've woken up to this fact, and Judgment and Temperance are both angels, so you are being guided this way. So we've got 2 cards of guidance and 2 aces. These are all divinely presented cards. You're being guided into making a change in your working life or your financial life that is going to have an impact on the rest of your life, but all in a very sort of coherent way. That's the best way of putting it. It feels like a big change. It feels like a big upheaval, but actually once you get going, it's going to be great for you, actually. You're going to get yourself back into balance. You're going to be much, much happier in the future, I think. Now, this card reading is for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Is there anything else we need to know for Gemini in the next 4 to 6 weeks? Because I think you're going to have some sort of message or communication that's going to help bring about this change. And that's something to do with money. Is there anything else that Gemini needs to know for this career and finance reading in the next 4 to 6 weeks? It's been a struggle. The struggle has been real, but this is in the past now, this sort of anxious energy. And this now, this is also a struggle, but it's in a different way. This is now getting your thoughts in order and making your plans for the future. So I think although you have been struggling, I think you're now entering a new phase where you're able to plan what you want for the rest of your life. This is really good. Let's see if there's any more that we need to know for the Gemini. Ooh, partnership. Great. So if you have been looking for partnership, either in love, in work, or to do with finances, it is coming. What a lovely place to end. It could be coming in the next 2 months, because this is a 4 to 6 week reading and this card is 2 months. So it could be that in the next 4 to 6 weeks, you get some sort of notice on the financial situation that you're trying to resolve or to improve. And in the next 2 months, you could be coming into a much better partnership and planning phase. In fact, I'm just thinking, have we got all the twos here? We've got the Two of Wands, the Two of Cups, the Two of Swords. No, we don't have the Two of Pentacles. We've got all 3 other twos and they're cards of action. So you're choosing to improve your life. You're choosing to make a plan for the rest of your life, and you're choosing to come into partnership with somebody regarding something. It was a really interesting reading, Gemini, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily for the future, which will help me to do better readings for you. If you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.